Like he's never left. Now, sale prices have not increased, just in case you heard that they increased from this month from someone.
Depends, it changes every week.
That's right,
on
that's
what
right.
article's been released.
Hey guys, Peter Kafkas.
I'm Peter Gowers from iProperty NT.
And welcome to today's October-November market wrap-up.
Yes, and look, apologies for the lack of market updates in the last month or so. A lot has been going on. Few changes, but I'm spending a bit of time down south these days. Still spending time in Darwin as well, of course, with the personal interaction becoming less and less these days. But you're absolutely right. I mean, with all the technology we have available to us, from the most basic to what's sitting behind us as we speak, but audio and video is so easy to create from different locations nowadays. But I mean, like I say, I'm going to be here, just not as often as I have been previously.
Absolutely. All right, let's get into the, we'll do October, November, the rental market. Let's talk about that.
There's a lot to talk about,
yes,
but there's not much happening.
So they are moving ahead with that derelict tax, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah, wow.
Yeah, look, many lobbyists have tried to stop it, saying it's not a good idea, another tax, the wrong time of year, let's see what else we can do.
Yeah.
But they're still moving ahead with it, which is not an ideal situation.
Yeah, look, it's not, and I guess with the way the market's gone in recent years, developers would be kind of crazy to move ahead with some of the bigger projects, and there's some fairly well-known sites in and around the city, specifically, as well as other suburbs. But developers would be absolutely crazy to move ahead with those at the moment. But penalising them for not moving ahead is also ridiculous.
There it is, derelict tax. Keep an eye out for it.
Yeah. So do we know the numbers around that yet, or they're still working on it?
Early days. Early days on that.
Yeah, fair enough.
The rental market in Darwin at the moment look, I think it's a time of year. It could be. What's starting to happen is we're pretty sharp on price. Inquiries have really started to slow down.
Yeah, well, I guess having in the last month or so, sort of being up and back and seeing, I really noticed a few weeks ago just how quiet the city was.
Yeah.
It starts with backpackers, and it sort of works out from there. And I drove down Mitchell Street, must have been 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I just thought, this is Christmas Mitchell Street. This is not Mitchell Street in October. So, I know after the GFC, because of the disparity with the Australian and the US dollar, I know that was a reason why a number of people didn't come here. But those days are well and truly finished, and our dollar couldn't be more enticing if you're spending, pounds or US dollars. Yeah, US dollars. You're buying a hell of a lot. Perhaps not so much pounds, but certainly with the US dollar.
Yeah.
The numbers are down, and we're a semi-government town. If private enterprise is struggling, then there can be a natural knock-on effect. So, interesting times ahead.
Look, we've been asked this question a number of times per day, thousands per week, and guys, when do you see the market turning around? We're going to attempt to answer that today.
A few moments later.
Yes.
At this stage, we have been quiet since 2014. The market started to slow down. The problem that we see right now is we've got to stop the bleeding. So until the population starts to increase, people stop leaving this beautiful town. I think we could be in for another year or two. Strap on and hang on is our prediction.
I think also spending a little bit of time looking at the larger markets, Melbourne and Sydney, excuse me, being good examples of that. Where they were also experiencing their historical highs not that long ago. They're also starting to labour a bit, and I think I use government agencies as a bit of a yardstick just to see what's happening, in the overall market. And when I see agencies such as the ATO being so aggressive particularly when it comes to small business and individuals tax. I think, well, if they're being that aggressive, they want the money. If they want the money, their receipts are down. So, you know, it has a natural flow-on effect, and I'm seeing the ATO do some unprecedented things in recent times. And that, from my point of view, is alarming. And I think it's just consistent with the fact that you know, resources boom is gone. We're sort of looking for the next thing to pin ourselves onto, and it hasn't appeared yet.
Twice in the month we've been approached by another agency poaching our rental clients, our landlords.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a bit of old school tactics.
Yeah.
But that yellow piece of shit team, better stop playing games.
Yeah, I can't think of that.
No, just
look,
stop playing games.
I think I used to work in the commercial radio business.
Yes.
And a colleague that I used to work with, who I've recently reconnected with on social media, said, just completely off the cuff one day, we were actually waiting for the local ratings to be released.
Oh, yes.
And people were acting really strangely around the office. And I said, mate, what the hell's going on? You know, like people... And I used to be known as PG on the radio, right? So he said, I can't do his voice, but he had sort of a gruff sounding voice.
Yeah.
He said, PG, nervous people do nervous things. And I just thought, so there you go. I reckon that sums it up.
Well, that's very well put. Let's end on a super positive note.
Yes.
Now, sale prices have not increased, just in case you heard that they increased from this month from someone.
Depends, you know, it changes every week.
That's right,
on
that's
what
right.
article's been released.
Buyers, where are you?
Oh, there you go.
Buyers, get out there. We've got Christmas coming up.
Yeah, Christmas present for the family.
That's what I'm saying.
New house.
If I could buy a house now for $300,000, a decent move-into house, I'd buy a couple of them, wait till the market goes back up and retire.
Not a renovator's delight, ready to go.
Ready to go, 300,000 ready to go.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's the reality, isn't it?
It is.
The soaring days of a few years ago are behind us, and
Absolutely.
You know, this sort of market brings opportunity.
You've heard it here first. Australia, get on board, come see Darwin, great fantastic rental returns and some of the lowest prices in the country. Last but not least, one of the highest vacancy rates in the country. Now we're commercial at 50% vacancy rate.
So get on the D train.
Get on the D train. I'm Peter Kafkas.
I'm Peter Gowers for iProperty and We'll catch you next time.